top of the morning, and welcome to episode 4 of modding a mod, well, modding a Terraria mod. Alright. Anyways, this episode 4, I made kind of a lot of progress throughout the playthrough of the last time I played. Or, well, the last time I played Gmod before we stopped and played Cobblemon. But today, we're coding something cool today. It's based on Calamities. In fact, I actually use Calamities code. Of course, I'm still learning it, but nonetheless, here we are. We're gonna code some, I don't know, some cool looking rarity text. And the song we're playing is Minecraft. It's from C4118. C418. You probably recognize him. It's iconic. I might respond to chat for a while, but who knows. Anyway. Mute the music here, but you'll hear me clicking. Currently, the rarity ID on the Terraria. I got the rarity working, which is funny. Of course, I changed it, and it's now a bit flush with the color. It fades to black, and I think there's a reason why. If you look at the Desmos, I had to do some jankiness. There's one particular region that reaches 0, and I think it hits every third row because I'm using sine, -1, and cosine. So at start, it's always 1 on both ends, but at a certain point, it'll hit 0, like what's happening right now. We're hitting 0. We're literally hitting 0 before we even knew it. So to combat this, I'm guessing we can use absolute on one of the color, which you can see it makes vast difference. So absolute, oh, that's not how you do absolute. Absolute is basically making all negative to non-existent. So instead of going 1 to -1, it goes back up to 1. Except we still have a divot here, which is the cosine itself. Because I put sine, it will be the same value as the green line. I don't think you want that. Anyway, so I'm guessing we need a absolute value in here. So to do that, we need to cut this and make a math.abs, which is absolute. That's that. Hopefully that works. If not, then I'm kind of stupid and on my end. I'm playing Moog CD2 by C418. Alright, should work fine. If not, then that kind of sucks. Because I put it off from Calamity to learn how it works. Huh, sick. It is working. It is going too fast though, you might be saying. As simple as division of 2. Oh wait, that shrinks the height. Sorry, I meant division of 2. So usually you would change this particular area, which I call it length time, because technically this inside parentheses is more like a timer. X is our time, and pi multiplied by pi times 0.5, which hits directly at even numbers. So if I divide by 2, that increase the length, as you can see here. Now that's the entirety equation, but if I divide by, okay, it's the same thing, but you know, I mean, oops, not divide by there, divide by there, and divide by there. Cool, now we have a very utmost, and I need to make this absolute because I already changed that. So now we have absolute. So now we need to divide the entirety of this by 2. Of course, it's gonna be the same for every single one of them. So to crunch my time without wasting mine, quote unquote, is I need to make this simpler by putting that time in here. So I don't have to rely on anything, and I need to change this to float because for some reason this thing is using double. Ah, sorry, I need everything to be in the parentheses. Lucy, there we go. So this one, this one needs to be changed because this one's already been used. Oops. So now we can use time in here. So we don't rely on the time anymore, or more like the pi time, yeah, I guess, or length. Yes, so, duration. That should be readable. Duration. So I mean, it can't make sense. Technically, it is duration. So now I can move this absolute into here because I feel like it. Because to make that happen, I need to move this guy. I'll move this guy over and put it down here. And then we move this guy, which, boom. Now this blue is always active because of the Desmos. And Desmos is, the cosine is always positive. Oh, I'm kidding about the music though. Anyways, so now the so now the cosine is always absolute. So this is always a active number. In this code, meaning this blue is almost always on, unless it hits 0. That depends on them. So now we need to rebuild this, and hopefully you can see that happening. And hopefully the color is right, because if not, then I'm kind of disappointed. Alright, back on Tmod. Let's wait here to load while I listen to the music. Very, very iconic. Man, I feel old. I'll just listen to it. Alright, I'm back here. We should have the redfish. Yes! Now it has a longer duration. And it doesn't go to the wrong color. Well, that's a good thing, at least. Alright, so we got the rainbow color, right? The shimmer gun rarity is based on, well, actually it's from Calamity, of course. I was just trying out the custom text snippet. Now, we need to do something cool with this. Back in here, let's look at Calamity's rarity. Actually, I already have it pulled here. There is exotic rainbow out, and I made it disappear. There's this exotic rainbow. This one actually alternates between the 3 boss. And but the one I have, it's an alternate of just an alternate version of exotic rainbow. It's basically just literally just the normal rainbow. Not not really cool, but kind of is. Now to make this exotic rainbow, I did pull it up here. They did something here, which is kind of interesting, and I kind of want to do the same thing, but it uses entirely on snippets. So I have to first figure out what the heck is happening on this code. And second is the position. Is this? It's using position X, and that's the text, the individual text we're looking at now. Now the next way, so to make this happen, since this one is a predetermined color while the one I have is a dynamic color, that means it doesn't really rely on predetermined and just relies on timer exclusively. We gotta do something different, which we need to figure out one thing with this item to what? To string. I'm guessing this one uses a entirely or unless the item was already existed in there. It does. It's so we're literally looking at individual text in here. Alright, cool. So again, this entirely, I think what's happening is that it's scoping for the sprite, and I'm guessing it's looking for the text individually as an individual letter, which then draws this entirely. Instead of drawing the text, it just draws the letter itself. So now back in here, we need to do the same, but except this one is not what I want. Currently, it's just rendering the entirety of the text, which is right. But to make this happen, I need to do something with the text itself. One being the exotic rainbow has that outline version, which I need to do the same. I need to figure out the scaling in here before I accidentally make it into a goofy eye situation. Holy crap, that's nostalgia. I haven't heard that in a long time. Okay. So this one, I think what's happening here is that we're not really relying on the chat manager, which is the one behind for the text, like this text, where you make the text under here. We're not relying on the chat manager anymore. We're relying on what's called sprite batch. Sprite batch is the one important here, the one handling all the sprites and all the tiles, your pet, yourself, including the NPC. Basically, sprite batch is like the entirety of the render. Is it? No, not really entirety, but you know, it is technically the entirety of the sprite. But the one we're looking at the other one, which uses the rasterizer. Oh my days, it was just kind of layer, bro. And I'm guessing if I try to use the same here, which I have to close it out first. If I use sprite batch, you'll notice the rasterizer is actually a layer. If I can't even check, can I not check the thing? Hello? Yeah, rasterizer state. Okay, no, that's not a layer. Then state is alpha blend. It's you probably know what blend is. Blend is just the color blending. like additive, which adds the color on top. Opaque is opaque. I don't know what else you want opaque to be, but yeah. This one is rasterizer. This one is slightly different. Not gonna lie, I forgot how I forgot how this thing works. So let's do this thing first. I don't want to rewrite all of it, so I'll just use the Pacific sprite batch in here. And it does not have scope. Okay, so we're gonna learn some cool new function, I suppose, other than just unique draw in here. So lease is one from the graphics device. So I'm guessing this based on Calamity. Yep, it is. This based on Daybreak. Okay, this is entirely very different. Because it's using what's called lease, and it's from Daybreak, and I haven't used that in a long time. So what I need to do is try to figure out the text, which turns into what's called a character variable. Whoa. What is? Character variable, which is CHR. That's the signal trying to render. So instead of this, instead of that, let's go back to the original color, and I did not mean to undo that whole entire thing. And so these, we're doing what's gonna be for each, and not font. That's interesting, but it's not font. So now we're doing individual text. So we're now relying on the Daybreaker, and now we have this one. So back at the Calamity's exotic rainbow. Oh my days! Oh, I did not mean to do. Next is the position. Currently, we're using the default position, which is actually, I don't know how this one draws out, but I think it's gonna be like on top left, I presume. So it's using the position, while this one uses its individual position. So while we do that, and we don't have position, I'm guessing they started in here. Yeah, they started before they start moving that one. The text, it's empty, and I'm guessing the text is actually added. Yep. So it's basically like string addition. Like it's basically like this. It starts off empty, and then we got this goofy whatever the text is. Then after that, I'm guessing they store this text once I finish it, because it starts off 0, of course, because there's no 0 in length. And then it adds another one, which is this. Now there's 1 in length. So that's what's happening on the not Daybreak, on Calamity's exotic rainbow. It's basically adding this text back. It's like a look back system, so that the text is properly placed in there. It's plus equals to the item. If you don't know what does that do, it's basically saying this empty text, which is empty right now, and then you plus equals to a, basically saying to put this letter to the string. And since this is for each text, or instead of the text meaning individual letter, this individual letter will keep adding to the text until the end of it. And this offset the position, which is good because you actually want the literal position of itself. So now we have that, and of course we need to put the item. Sadly, we need to do something because this cannot work. So we need to do what's called, and I need to go back in here you can see that this is a text, so we need to do what's called new and the item. I'm stupid. That's supposed to be two string. No, I'm actually stupid as well. No. So two string is basically two string. It converts the variable into strings. Like for example, this color dot two string, it'll turn into a literal string, like a literal string itself. Of course, each variable has its own uniqueness of two string. Like in my industry, apparently some variables are actually converted to string to save a world, if you don't know. That's how I actually did mine with Project Restoration, but it's kind of confusing if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, now back to launching the game. Hopefully the text is still fine after the conversion. Alright, back into here. Hopefully the fish is fine, the rarity. Yep. It is working fine. Okay, I need to make this consistent. Because right now, currently, we're in this kind of stage where we have this kind of gap. To make this not a gap, not that apparently. So we need to offset this by another, not two, that would be diabolical. 2, and I need to make this move by, that's why. That's crap, I forgot how you move this again. That's increasing length and decreasing the height of it. Oops, I don't mean to delete the entirety of it. That's increasing height entirely. Cosecant, not really useful in here. What if I use another cosine in here, but multiplied by negative? Well, so I need another cosine in here, which is the last color, but then again, it would be kind of idiotic. So what if I just put an absolute on one of them? What does it look like? Okay. Okay, there is a problem here. Phi of is that. So I need to move this in a weird way, which is decreasing this by 1. So now it's relying on nothing, literally. Now I need to put this absolute, which should be fine because I already have that one there. That one's fine. Now I need this sign. Conveniently, I haven't divided it. Oh, I already did divide it. Conveniently, now I need to not multiply this by 0.5. And now we put this absolute value without the parentheses, of course. Now we have that. And now we need to do a individual kind of color. So to do this, I need to move the entirety of the text color and move it in here. It's gonna be individual color. Of course, we're not using text color anymore, we're relying on this color. And then now, damn. Now we need to add this by X. The text.length. So like this. And then this. Actually, thinking about it, I don't know if it'll actually work that way. Because this by like it is a very long text, if you know this. So let's rebuild it and see if it works. If not, then I'm kinda sad. Alright, back at it. Tmod. Let's see if my first priority is still fine. Now it looks like it's just straight from Shimmer Gun, bro. Like literally straight from a Shimmer Gun. Alright, how would I do this? Let's take a look back at the Calamity and see what it looks like. Okay, I got it. So the current color is this specific index, and I'm guessing that index is this kind of color. And it wants to the use color, which is the current color, and next color and rate of date. Alright. Now to make this happen, I need to change its color by a current color and then lerp it to that specific color. And of course I need to change it. Now let's remove the text.length and the color and the thing in here. Probably like, let's do this. Alright. Do it plus the text.length. But then again, it wouldn't be the same because it's always the same color. Need to change it into a different color, which is color and default. Then I'll need to put that one in. There we go, and then put this guy back in. Then I need to color equals the default color with the R being plus by the text of color and the length of it. Ain't that right? The default would be added by txt.length, and I'm guessing there's the wrong kind of thing, so I'll have to convert it to byte. Boom. Now we rebuild it. Hopefully the text from rainbow works. If not, then ouch. That sucks. Alright, back to Tmod. Of course, we're loading back in again. Hopefully for the 4th time. Alright, back at Tmod. Now go back to our test world. Then hopefully the fish still has its rarity. Kinda does. But it has that weird kind of bug where it's fully red at all times. So we need to change that. Well, no, we change. It's more like trying to figure out why it's not working in the first place. What if? And this is gonna be like a goofy ass series of trying to figure out why this thing doesn't work. Okay, I did not mean to put it like that. What the heck is it trying to make? Like the then new this that. Oh crap! Apparently not that. Alright. And boom. And we have that. Now, we need to figure out. Well, first of all, I don't know if this is gonna be a laggy situation if I try to. Or make the new thing like so many times now. And we need to put this somewhere in here. Where should I put this? Oh, probably in there. Static color. Alright, so we're gonna really rely on the snippet in this situation. So I'll put this one in there. So now it's always in there. Now, for each and like color A, not that, and D. We add this. That's not the current color right now. You need to move this, put it back in here. Duration is the math, very complicated math. The default, and then the A. Now we need to make this as B, put it as 0. Then we add it by 1. Actually, we add it by 1 every single tick. So now we need to do something like this. Actually, we'll put it farther out in the wilderness. 30. And then I need to, since this is based on 0 to 1, since we're using float, might add something like 0.05 f, which is float. Then finally, we need to move the C, which I'm gonna put it there. Well, actually, we need to make this add it C, and then the B have the default. That's the problem. Alright, let me change this into int, and this one becomes plus plus, or just straight up saying add 1 to it. Then we divide this by 50. I suppose that's into calculation, because that would be 0.2, then after that add by another, and then 0.4. So in 50 lengths, I suppose. But if not, then we can rely on the text length. But I don't know about text length wise, because this redfish, which is 3 and 7. That would be like 1 division of 7. That would be straight to the 0.1 range. But I'll put it in probably like text dot length and probably time step by 2. That's the equation. So at least there's some kind of a pattern going on without destroying the pattern entirely. Next is moving it here. So this one is gonna be very confusing because the fact that we're now gonna rely on color and the array in there, which is C. Then finally the text dot length. Hopefully that would work. If not, then I'm sad. Very sad. Alright. Hopefully, when I get the fish, hopefully it has individual cool colors. It doesn't. Oh man. This is a very challenging one, to be exact. And I need to go to the bathroom real quick. Alright, I'm back. Oh. Alright. So we need to figure out how to do this entirely. We can dispose of it. Actually, we can also start drawing on it, but then again, it's from Sprite Batch. But the one we're looking at is from Calamity's on. What's Calamity's on sync? Anyway. Maybe we can do what's called ler. And go from the text length and then the other text length, which I might need to loop it back by the C dot length so it doesn't go insanely too far. At the same time, we need to do the text dot length, or actually can put it in the same way as the global time. These. Of course, we need to add it by another, and I'm guessing the X is, yeah. Now I just need to add it by the, let's say, another integer called d, which D is gonna be added every time you move by a step, and hopefully I don't know how many tries is this now, but hopefully it works. Of course, I'm gonna put the color back in and then rebuild it. Alright, back at team up. Gotta wait for. Well, every time you try to rebuild, there's always a reload. Alright, and the fish does not got anything. Holy! I mean, at least we got the cosmic purple, but I really don't want that. I need something cool with it, but I can't seem to figure out why in this situation it wouldn't work. Unless I put the thing in there and we build it from here, because this always 0. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then I might have to make something other than rainbow. I like Exotic's rainbow, but this Calamity's Daybreaker, which I really don't want to build a whole nother library or use another library. I wanted to use something kind of, well, the mod's kind of unique. I really don't rely on. Well, I just drank that wholly. It doesn't work. It's more like it's making a cosmic purple only. I just realized what it was trying to look like. But, hold up. That does sound weirdly familiar with the thing, but not really my kind of style. Maybe I'll just use the default color then. Oh well. If you can't really make it, just use the default A. Oops, that's not where you put it. Not there. Let's see here. I'll probably work on remaking the rainbow text, but for now, I guess I'll put it like a normal looking color. Like just a default color for the time being, not for just straight up making another whole one. For the time being, I'll just make it a default kind of style. And of course, it used to be just a whole individual text, but for the time being, I'll use this. And to also top it off, let's change this to the color itself, just in a darker variant. Okay, and it crashed. Of course, it has to crash. I'm guessing DB. Yep. Now we rebuild it. See? Alright, back at T-Mod. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our test world. Hopefully see the fish got its color. Did I not save it? Or is the fish using a different kind of color? That would be absurd if it is. Actually no, it's more like I'm kind of stupid that I forgot this thing still exists. Alright. Second time's a charm. Holy. Now I'm back at T-Mod. Hopefully, I mean this. Hopefully, the rainbow color is actually working. If not, then we're actually kinda. Well, not really stalemate, but more like couldn't figure out where it is. Alright. And I'm guessing it's using the cosmic in here. I mean, it did say it looks like a cosmic kind of color. Alright, well, let's put it all back together again. To the drawing board. Did not make to zoom out. Alright, let's way put it back to what it was before. And of course, I'm gonna put this to the original text, the one I was supposed to handle it back then. Okay, so I was kind of right. I was using the wrong kind of snippet, because if you didn't know, for some reason, well, actually not for some reason, it's more like the way it's coded. Because in Calamity's mod, they use what's called the text snippet, which is actually what they rely on for the rarity fonts or the special effects they use for the text. Like the shimmer gun, the one I'm using is Cosmic Purple because I was testing how the calamities work. But this should work fine. Yes, it works. Just way too out of bounds. Holy, what is happening? But technically it is working. But at the same time, we're not in the specific range that I want to be in. So let's do something kind of idiotic. Usually this would not work in a way because we're relying on 0 to 1, which is the RGB color and the color for float. But right now we're now using integers with float. Not an ideal situation in here. Actually, to begin with, what are we using? We're still using float. I mean, the rainbow is fine actually. It looks kind of cool. It's just that I think my calculation is kind of going off board now. Actually, one of them is supposed to be not in a off-board situation. This one has to be multiplied by 2. I'm an idiot. Alright, now we're going back again. Yikes. This is a pain. Well, this is what it feels like to be trying to bug fix a mod. Usually they plan it out and then put out all the codes together, while me in the other end using with my mod is all over the roadmap. There's no single point of where to go. Hey, it is. I would say it is working. It's just that I think I added too much to the color. Because remember, we're relying on integers now, and with floats, it is not fun to use floats. So let's put it back again. Alright, now I'm back at this color. Of course, we're gonna delete the color. So now we have this, and we need the float. Let's say we can call it D, the float. D the float. And of course it has to be 0 by default. I don't want the thing using the random color. Alright, now we need to put D on actually let's put it as B, because I guess B, and then we increment it by 5, so it's literally halfway of the color spectrum. What I'm saying is basically it's just halfway of whatever this color is on, like clearly not halfway in here, that's a full one, halfway like somewhere in here. Alright, now we gotta go back to Tmod. Of course we have to wait to build itself, and then after that it loads back in, and then we run run my test world, and then finally hopefully the fish got its full rainbow. It is not. Even I question myself why I'm doing this alone. Alright, let's probably add it into the duration, because well, usually you put it in the duration, because that is where the cosine and sine is. If you leave it outside of it, it is never looping back to the specific color you want. So let's try it that way. I mean, it can't make sense, so let's try it that way. Hopefully it works. And also, I kind of see why it is hard to be a programmer, because actually to be a solo project is kind of insane, but hey, no, I mean there's debugging. So now back to my test world again. Of course the map on the wrong side of that thing. Hopefully the rainbow text. It's rain. Oh, white days. Now that's a beautiful rainbow. Except there's a problem. There's a reverse order of rainbow. Is someone going from the wrong side of the spectrum? Well, not the wrong side, more like the wrong side of where it's supposed to point it at. Alright, so it is working. I can confirm that. Let's try to add, let's say, a 0.15 on each color, like an offset of, actually let's say 0.005, and then let's remove the absolute, so we're not relying on the thing anymore. So now that this one is 0.5, this one is also 0.5, this one is also 0.5. Now we need something in here, which we need, let's remove all the absolute value in here actually. So now we have this kind of spectrum, and divide by 2 minus 1 multiplied by 1. We still have that one gap we need to fill. So what I'm gonna do is well, first of all we need another cosine, and then we need probably another sine in here. I mean, it kind of matches out, but if we minus it, we kind of see it move out a bit further. Then just adding plus on a negative sign is diabolical, so we need to put it in a parentheses to make that cool arc, but we need to make this a cosine. Okay, it did nothing. Alright, so we need some way to figure out a three-way kind of, I mean, looking at it, it looks like a, what was it called? An AC. The phase outs kind of type of thing. Anyway, we're kind of getting close, but we need to flip this entirely around, and we need to change one of them to a absolute, which does fill out the entirety of it, but we need to figure out the middle ground of it. So we need to move the cosine of it. somehow farther. So let's see, we add by 1. I found it. So let's try moving X, which is gonna be all the way at top, by 1. And this one also by 1. And this also by 1. Okay, maybe probably not put all of them by 1. And this one minus, whoa, where my pad go? Minus 1. This one goes in straight middle. We're kind of squeezing it a bit further now. So minus 2 plus 2. Okay, we're getting too close to that. Minus 3, 4, and 5. Nope, 4. And I'm guessing that is one interesting kind of. That is very interesting actually, if you look at it. That's minus 2 now. Nope, plus 2. Sorry. One of them is a negative. So now we have a kind of a positive, like there's no negative at the bottom. So now let's do that the same way in here. Actually, I need the calculation. Yep. So the negative side would have minus 2. This one would have positive 2. Sorry, because one of them is negative. So that there is no negative on the end of it, so it's always positive on whatever color it's on, and hopefully that works. If not, then I guess we got a different kind of color set. Alright, let's hope it works, and I hope it actually works because it makes sense, but that's confidence. So alright, now back at the Terraria, or Tmod, sorry. And of course we gotta load everything back in. Test, and back to our test world. And finally we got, yeah, whoa. Okay, that's gonna be that is a problem actually. It works. That's not in a way I would think of. So there is a very high value on some certain distance, and I'm guessing that's where it is. And I need to move this in here, this in here. So we need to put another parentheses and another parentheses in here. Then we add B, not in multiply, so that we're relying on the duration. Then add by B. Of course, I'll add it by B before the change, because I think what's happening is that it's not intended to calculate and the times 0.5. Alright, now we need to let's see, minus 0.005 F, of course. And finally we need to rebuild this. Holy, we actually kind of recreated the exotic exotic rainbow from Calamity, except it's kind of a unique a very unique kind of exotic rainbow. Instead of relying on the color or the predetermined color, we're relying on the dynamic color. I mean, it's simple, but yeah, it works. Alright, now we have, yes sir. Yo. Okay, it sometimes goes to the wrong color. I mean, now it's multiplied by what, 2 times? Yep. So let's delete that. And I'm guessing why it fails. It's actually, yeah, no, it's literally failing from that point. Alright, I guess we got a cool looking rainbow, but it's not really a perfect kind of rainbow, but it is what it is. Now we need to put all of these. Boom. Now we build it. Then after that, I do need to go after this build. But it is working though. That is a plus, surplus. And I think my next idea for the mod itself, because right now I'm trying to think of in between the yeah, like in the progress line, we're kind of in between of Wall of Flesh and the pre-hard mode, but currently the one I'm making is almost in the post-Moonlord. Hey, redfish is, I mean, it still has some problems, as you can see. It still fades to the wrong color. Actually, I wonder why it's doing that. Oh, that makes sense. I put one in the wrong one. It has to be the sign in the other side. That makes sense. Alright, now we need to rebuild it. Again. I don't know how many times I have to rebuild this thing, but here we are. Alright, after that we can take a, well, not really take a break, more like I need to do some cool little ideas to add. Alright, so we got Cosmic Purple, which I really don't need because that's from Calamity, not mine. And our fish has colors. Yes. Yeah, I mean, is it rainbow? Not really, but is it good? I guess so. Yeah, I guess what's happening is that it's almost synchronized by the plus and minus of the sign, and I'm guessing none of them even lines up with the cosine at all. In fact, let me see the code in here. Yeah, that makes sense. None of them even lines up with the thing. So we need to do some other thing like that. Let's do some little bit of tweaking in here. Like, let's say 3. Nope. Like 2.5. Then we add by 2, minus 2. Then this one plus 2. Okay, I kind of flipped it. It's supposed to be this plus 2. And then this 1.5. Actually, let's put it back in the same way. So I think there is some slight imperfection in here. Let's do 1.5. Because there is a large divot in here where it almost changes to an absolute black. So let's try 3. 3? I cannot guess it makes sense. But you can see the highest point now, it's between sign and sign. And lowest point is the red. So I'm guessing 2.5 would make sense. I mean, we're still having that weird divot in here, like, you can see there's a, I mean, they're relatively close if you compare the two. If you check on both ends, it perfectly matches up, but that's on the opposite side. So let's see, like, What about minus pi? Would that work? And this one adds by pi. Okay, that one is just outrageously big. So let's put it back. The highest point now is the red. So we need to minus actually by pi division of 2. And then we add this by pi. Should be, I mean, close now really. 3. Okay. Okay, 1.5. Holy crap, that is close. 4, and this one's on 5. This one is over 5. So if I 2-5 it, 4-5 for 8. So let's put it back. 6 and 4. 4, 5. 6 and 9. I mean, 4, 9 and 4, 5. That's good. Now 5 and 4, 4. So let's do 3.5, 4, 7, and 4, 6. That is the closest approximation to y value. But then again, we still have this weird awkward thing. So we need 0.35. That moves up a bit in here. This moves down a bit. Then this one is fine. It's on 47. So we need to move up. Okay, this goes down. Let's move it up a bit. Now this one's 4-5. This one's way too much. 4-5 and 4-5. That's 5-1 and 4-9. So I'm guessing it's 1.5 in here. 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. Yep. Make it till you make it. Now we need to add those in there. By those I meant like literally just doing this. Math.pi division of 1.5. Very interesting equation right now. Then we do the same thing on the positive side. Alright. Now everything should be equal to each other. If not, then we're screwed and we still have to do more calculation. Because not gonna lie, I really don't want to do more and more math. Alright, now we're loading back into Terraria. Because technically it's gonna take ages. But now we load back to test world. And finally, we have green, then red, then blue. You can see it mixing closely to blue. There is some divot like closely to that. Alright, so now back at the divots. I think they're all fine. Yeah, they are. This one is fine, this one is also fine. Yeah, everything should be fine. So technically we're kind of done with math, but at the same time we're still missing some kind of math in the way. Because the duration is already divided by 2. Makes sense. Actually, this is supposed to be... Yeah, we're gonna move the division entirely, and now we're gonna rely on this kind of calculation. Boom and boom. Then add that. Because looking at this equation, it looks like we're actually relying on that math equation. And then we need to do this again, but this time the addition. Now we need to let's say another this and that. Then finally divide by 2. Same thing with this one, but this one relies on nothing other than division of 2. Then finally put this one, of course this one's subtraction. Hopefully this fixes it. And now oh wait, we still have to wait for a load. Holy. Keep forgetting it needs to load the mod every now and then when you build. Alright. Now we go back to our test character in the test world. And then finally we should get our not that one. We should get our cool looking rainbow. Ah, sick. We got green, red, blue. Nice. Okay, they are shifting actually perfectly now. They're not shifting to each other. And you might be wondering, yes, it is slow. So to make it faster, we need to remove that division line. Because we got the man and the NPC, the myth, the traveling merchant. So, oh yeah, if you're wondering what this platform's for, is to test how my pet reacts to platforms. Of course, I already made this during the playthrough of the Mod of Redemption, but I made it because I actually like the sprite. And also, I kind of changed up the font a bit. I mean, all I did is just flip the sprite, but for Android, I actually add the few more animation sprite for some of the things that it doesn't include. Like for example, the flying Android and the falling animation. And that's about it. Now we need to do something with this. So right now, I still have the purple, the cosmic purple only. Right now we have the red fish is basically done with the color. Of course, it's the original color is still not the color I want to. Like fish trout is just fish trout, and shimmergun is shimmergun. So if I go back, I did add a config, which is custom draw rarity, just in case some people experience lag. So I just add that. So now I should be relying on the disco. So cool. And the shimmer gun should rely on the default color. But in case someone wants the custom draw, you can just put it back. Of course, it's client only because I don't know what the heck. It just mix it into server. Next is make it into white. Actually, should I make this into a flip color? Is there even no way to invert this color? Color.invert. Okay, never mind. There is no way to invert this color. That sucks. That sucks. Actually. Alright, now let's say I want to convert this into an invert. So we need to do the same thing, but except we reverse it. Like this. Color equals the color. Actually, the color dot no, there AR. No, I need the new one. Sorry. Need was it? I gotta look at the thing real quick. From RG, nah, that's additive. Let's see. We do this kind of inversion. So we just do like, okay, can I just move in here? Like the color of A, then that's R, oops, color of R, then we subtract it by 255, so now it's the opposite of that color. Then we do the same thing on G and B, because we put the comma in there. Then color A, because we need that. Alright, let's see what it looks like. If it looks kind of well, if it looks kind of boring, then I might as well just remove it, because it's not really useful or really helping in any way. Alright, now we go back, reload the mod, go to our test world. Hopefully it looks good. If not, well, that's the first time I'm trying, so, and I drank that thing anyway. It's not gonna lie, it's kind of goofy. Just looking at the font entirely, it looks way too off. Actually, what if I could shimmer? It uses the skill entirely. I mean the cosmic purple, not the shimmer. And cosmic purple, it uses the scale, but what would I do something with these? Because this one is just pulsing and it's creating the same color like multiple times. What if, actually, like, what if I, because this one is using the shadow, and let's get the color in here. What is it? Alright, the outline. It's like color white. Let's say color white. And of course I'm not using this because it's kind of goofy moment. Then we do something like this. Int I is less than 0. Now that's a classic song I haven't heard in a while. I is less than 4. Then I, well, you add the I into it. You draw the same thing, but then we add a new vector. New vector, holy. Yeah, it's a 2D, of course. Then we just do 0. Actually, not how many? 20 pixels, I guess. Unless this is entirely on a different kind of calculation, then oops. Then rotate it by math nope, math upper the 2 radians, because we're gonna use degrees on this. 90 times the I meant. And now I need to do this to, you know, the color. Then finally we run it again. Alright, it's still loading. Of course I gotta wait for the thing to load. Alright, back in Tmod. Man, I forgot how long it loads. Then single player, the test world. And if I got it right, I think we got it right. And that's the wrong place. Technically it is right, but technically it is wrong because we're rendering way too many texts all at once, as you can see. So I need to kind of move this in. Oh, it does have a shadow. Oh, let me see the shadow real quick. Shadow direction. So it's just literally a 4-way direction. Okay. I'll draw this, and then let's just put 5. Let's just say 5, I guess, because I put it way too out of bounds of the thing. And hopefully it doesn't go out of bounds again. If it does, then holy damn. Alright, back in Tmod, back in test world. Hopefully it works. If not, then oh crap. If not, I mean, that's kind of right. Of course, we need to do something with the draw. Like the cosmic thing is way out of bounds. Like way out of bounds, literally. Alright. So we need to move this by like 1 pixel, I guess, or 2. And then this one, we go our color times 1.5. So this is slightly faster than the other one. The next up is I'm drawing this one. Where is this? Now, if I remember about layering scheme, it's really weird because it relies to draw on the text, but the problem is that sprite batch is a very weird kind of situation. It depends on what layer it's trying to draw. Sometimes if it's greater than the original text, then it goes under, but sometimes it doesn't. And I'm guessing what's happening here is just few of the text is actually rendered on top of each other, because if you'll notice, the letters are actually separated, which, I mean, yeah, you gotta move the text out of bounds first. But to make this work, I need to move this out of bounds. But then again, actually, speaking of which, the cosmic purple, which you'll notice it draws before the text, but this one, it draws the individual thing before the thing. So I need to separate this. Like literally, I need to actually separate that whole entire text, because this is not gonna work if I try to do the same thing in here. So now we need to move this text, which is gonna be in here now. So now it relies on whatever value is on, and then we set it back to 0 once it reaches this side, because we really don't need another text clearly. Then after that, we need to make this animate. Now, what do I animate with? Absolutely no idea. So let's go back to math. So let's say cosine is x, right? Actually, let me disable everything. So now we have kind of a cosine of 0 and -1. Every pi of 2, pi over 2, is always a 0. Not to negotiate that, we need to add a pi, not that pi. Actually, it is kind of right. It's a pi in this thing, which makes a 0.5 position. So it's always a half. So if I multiply it by 0.5 again, this time we don't have a fraction or a division, well, fraction or decimal, but now we have a whole number. Pretty cool, eh? So using that knowledge, actually we already have the duration, so technically I did specifically answered it, but it uses the pi. There's no multiply of 0.5 there. So specifically, let's try to animate this. And to do that, we need the duration, and we need to multiply this by, let's say, the duration of it. Actually, no. Is it? Yeah, it is right. Holy. Even I can't figure out what am I trying to do. Let's do like J as our animation. Math dot cosine, then the duration of it, then times 0.5. 0.5f. Of course, we need to change the double into float. Then we multiply the rotation by J. Now we have that one. Now let's see. Hopefully it looks kind of good. If not, then youch. That sucks. Alright, now we're loading back in. And back to Relogic, of course. Welcome Relogic. Like, I mean, I don't know about Terrarius 1.4.5.7. Of course, the latest one. But it looks like the weapons are becoming more of the items, the one we already had. But let's see. Not gonna lie, that is one satisfying spin. Holy. Except the problem is that I cannot see the goddamn text. It's like way out of pocket with the was it fish trout? So it seems like it hates going negative. Yeah, it kinda hates going negative. Yeah, no, like you can see the white text, right? Like it's almost not visible anymore. So let's try to do white, I guess. But at the same time, we need to color. New color the. No, we need just the color, not white alert. Like clear the alert between white and the color itself. And of course, we need the like 0.5 alert, like a permanent stuck in there. And then this one, so this one it goes like this, but I need to do something like 1.5. I mean, it's slightly quicker, but if you do 0.5, it's always a positive. So let's try a 2. Now it's 0.25. Actually, that's not even right. 5. Okay, that's. Now we have like insanely out of bounds. Let's do pi. Okay. Okay, now I'm just zooming in. Alright. And then divide by 2. Alright, I'm not gonna get the closest number in there. Let's try like pi division of 1.5. I guess that works, but let's do pi 1.5 pi. Not 0.5. Pi and That is a cursed number. What the heck am I looking at? So now it's kind of like in a very awkward position. Let's try a sign. 0 and then becomes 1, 2. Yeah, like every even numbers or odd numbers, I say, is negative. Let's try the absolute number. So now it's always positive. And of course, we're gonna change the math in here. Need the sign now. So now we need the absolute, which we gotta do that by adding another parentheses and putting math.abs. Math.abs, or absolute. So now it's always positive, but at the same time it also loses the kind of animation I want. Actually, speaking of which, let's put that thing here and look at cosmic. I'm guessing it's yeah, 2 pi. Interesting. Then actually, let's just put like what if I just leave it like duration 0.5? I actually want to see what it looks like. Alright, back out Terraria again, loading up the Tmod. Then finally, Tmod. Hopefully it loads. And the test world. Then finally, our fish would have okay, not gonna lie, that is one satisfying rainbow, but the text is almost unclear on what the heck am I looking at. And also, it really doesn't work. Alright, let's see in Cosmic. I don't want it. Pulsing, so I'm guessing this pulsing every vector of it. Speaking of which, we can basically do the same thing just on J now. And then let's do like push math helper dot 2 pi. So as far as the cosmic purple is concerned, yeah. So that loops back and doesn't keep going. Then finally I need to go all the way back to this one. Instead of being 0.5, like almost to the color, just do 0.25. Because I mean, I need the text to be readable at some point. I can't just put it into like straight up invisible. Alright, back at Timon. Test world. Alright, back at the world. And the text is okay. Now that's satisfying. Just I mean the outline is kind of in a sporadic place. I'm guessing I did not make this right because oh yeah, no, I did not make this right. I need the text to be in position, of course, and then I need to make the text of the text and be added. And then after that, we need to default it back to emptiness. And then after that, we need, so this one being the color, we need let's just change this to white, and well, the outermost, the outline. Let's change this to white, like the changing color of white. Then finally, I think that should be all. If not, then I kind of messed up the whole entire thing. So let's see here. This just, yeah, no, this is the straight copy and paste at that point. Like, holy. Alright, now back at Tmod. I gotta build it first and then back, back at Tmod. Boy is Noel playing. My boy is playing Binding of Isaac. Actually, is there a way to? I want to mod Binding of Isaac, but I don't know because I don't know what's language it's on. Because right now I only learned Java from my industry, C# from the Tmod itself, of course, and then the JavaScript from also my industry. All right, let's so. Okay, I think I made a very big mistake on my end. What the heck am I reading? I can't see. I can see. Alright. New plan. This thing goes to here. Actually, no, it goes here. I need to change this thing to, I guess, the black end. I mean, I want to see what. Oh yeah, it is this black end. Alright, let's try that one. If not, then oh crap, we kind of made a big mistake on the end if we put it on the wrong color. Alright, now back at Tmod. Hopefully it actually works. Alright, back at Tmod, test player, test world. And finally, okay, me kinda see it, it's just insanely small. Like you cannot see that thing at all. Alright, let's just add by 4 or 3. I mean, let's go 4. We build that thing. And then, really, there's a lot of debugging just for one rarity. Now I can't see why Calamity is kind of a complicated mod. I mean, it is already, but from my end, I mean, there's some mods already that doesn't rely on libraries, right? Alright, let's load back up in here. And sick. Okay, not sick, it's going in a weird pattern. Kind of. It's like popping out, popping in, popping out again. Yeah. Alright, let's do a different way, like this, and then actually instead of oh no, it is going. No wait. Oh no, it is absolute. So it goes back up, then goes down, because it goes to going down like clarity. It just goes down. What if we just add the duration like this? Oh, whoops. So now instead, we're basically like this now, not like that. like this, basically. We're not in, we're just linear. That's not sine or parabola. We're not in this kind of position. J2, I'm gonna put J1 in here. I need to make this readable, not gonna lie. Because looking at this is just insanely, insanely confusing just looking at it. Alright, now reload this one more time. Hopefully I got it right. If not, then I'm screwed. And then after this, I'm gonna change this to actually changing color so that it looks kind of cool to see. And this one to just straight up, straight up the color itself, like 5, like almost its color. I'm gonna change this to 3. Of course, we're gonna look at it from the original code. Holy, I'm actually falling off a bit. Okay, that actually looks kind of good. It's like making some cool patterns. Look at that. Holy. And that bunny just fell off because I literally just saw it on my eye. Alright, now we got the rainbow, the very cool rainbow effect. This, where the heck is my thing? In here, I need to change this to, like, yeah, by 3. Then this one, I need to change this to now, actually, so the duration is based on time, but currently we're in a kind of a weird situation, not sib, because it goes up and down with, of course, pi 2, like 2 pi, and I need a way to keep it spinning. And I know just that. I know that. And I just put J2 in it. Because J1 will be like keep popping in, out, in, and out. Just making those cool looking thing. And of course 90 times 4 is just 360. Alright. Now we reload it back again. Holy. Alright, now I'm letting back in because I have to wait for a while. And then we're gonna go to our test world and the test player. Alright. Now we should have a cool looking rainbow text. Okay, not gonna lie, this is like the most underwhelming kind of effect so far, and that bunny just fell again. I mean, not gonna lie, the effects is fine. You know what it feels like? It feels like a Pokemon card, like a was it a very shiny Pokemon card? I forgot what it looks like. Oh yeah, like hologram Pokemon. Like it feels like it's literally giving off a vibe like it feels like a vibe like that, bro. Holy, and I can't even speak right now. Not gonna lie, I might actually keep this rainbow effect like a very hollow, like a hollow vibe Pokemon. And we got fish from the item Masonium. Alright, So that rarity is actually done. Of course, I still have the cosmic purple from Calamity, which I'm not gonna use later. Actually, I'm gonna make a new one. But let's see what we have. I have a resurrection potion. I still don't know what would be a good use for this. I mean, I could just limit it like Fargo's mod, but the resurrection potion is based on from the, I forgot what version it is, but you might recognize it. This one is Okram. Console area already has it, but I want to make a cool version of it. Not a cooler version of console area. Oh heck no, I'm not really good at it. But the next up is actually the boss, Dune Trapper, which you already seen it in the video before. But let's summon it. Where is it? Currently, all it does is dash and summon these two. Like, that's all it does. It's kind of boring, it's kind of bland. I mean, it adds kind of a difficulty into it. I mean, it also summons those little mini-boss. And I'm guessing if... Holy, I forgot about that. Alright. I think we need to do some little bit of planning. Currently all it does is dash and summon little minions and the tornado. But probably maybe in the next time. For now, I think we got the rarity done. I forgot that that's what my pet does. But maybe. Actually, let's add a little bit of an item. Alright, dude. Get out of here, bro. Let's do a little bit of resprite. Like a little bit of respriting in here. Because, I mean, not gonna look at Soul of Unity, bro. It's just a combination of every single soul in one sync. I mean, Soul of Light, it used to be like very... Where I drop it? It used to be very, very yellow when I first made it. But now it looks okay-ish, I guess. Because if I go to my original content here, if I go back to my materials, items of course, materials, you'll notice that it used to be very, very yellow when I first made it. It was not a good kind of coloration. I did not mean to do that. So I decided to make it very darker kind of vibe, yellowish orange. And I also and I'm gonna do something real quick. We got enemies nearby. So I kind of made this, but let's do some little bit of refining. Alright. So right now the Dune Trapper summon, which, where is it? This thing. Oh my days, this is just a combination of two other items. It is just the let's see here, it's literally just the two items. It's literally listed in here. Which is kind of funny, the fact that it's literally based on those two items. Alright. Let's do a little bit of respriting, shall we? Using my a sprite. Oh yeah, I was doing a shield. Which of course right now the sprite is kind of goofy as hell. And I need to do a little bit more of trying to think outside the box than trying to use Cthulhu Shield. I might resprite this again, but I don't know. So let's go back to items and back to our boss summon, or just consumable and boss summon. And we need the Sand Trapper summon. That you'll notice it's not great. So let's try to do some kind of a revamp of this, because right now it's not really a useful kind of summon. So let's do something from Calamity's thing, like the medallion. Actually, does Terraria? Oh, it does have a Terraria medallion. Ah, sick. What does it look like? Okay, never mind. Let's do the desert medallion from Calamity, not Terraria. Kind of like this. It has that kind of rope vibe into it. I thought it was animation. Alright, let's see here. Let's look at another necklace kind of vibe, or kind of a rope vibe. So let's do like a little bit of Terraria rope. Like something kind of on, where would it be? Let's look at Terraria's items real quick. Let's go to accessory, of course. So we got Shackle, but I don't know about Shackle. Let's keep looking for other items to inspired. Ooh, Celestial Cuffs. That one? I mean, we can combine it with that other, the Desert Medallion, but Black String, I don't know about Black String. Let me lower this down a bit before I go deaf. Let's see here, not links. I'm not doing links one now. Shark Tooth necklace. It's like a chain style. Okay. This one, this green horseshoe. Let's see here. We got DPS meter. I mean, I already made one similar to that, or just the Valentine ring. I mean, Naga still needs some rework because that thing is worse looking compared to DPS meter. Let's see here. Can keep going down and more down. Not Celestial Shell that has no rope. Barrier platform is entirely different. Stout stool. Stout stool collar would be right. Molten charm or stinger necklace. Actually, let me search for necklace vibe. Ooh, I think Panic's necklace vibe, or the chain itself, is kind of good. Well, first of all, we need to change the entirety of this thing. So let's make new. We're going big, of course, because I still don't know what's the size would be. So it is what it is. Alright. Ooh, the older version actually has that kind of cool thing. Like the old one, I might use that on. Now let's go put this thing in. Oh wow, they weren't kidding about old version having some kind of compression. Alright, let's take a look at a new one actually, because this one feels a bit kind of good. Alright, the new one is like slightly more better, I guess. Let's take the rope Terraria, because I need the color. Actually, what would the color be? Kind of like, Sweetheart is way too orange. Let's see here, step stool. The step stool, I mean, not really my vibe. How about rope? That's my camera. I did not mean to throw it, but sure. The rope, I don't know about rope. Kind of goofy at the moment. That's my. Let's see here. Let's try to find something other than rope color. Cause look at Desert Medallion. This one, I mean, it's like almost a brownish kind of style. And of course it has yellow cause, I mean, that's the desert. Not gonna lie. So let's go. Like, what would it be a good vibe? Let's try making a color of our on my own. If I get it wrong, then actually let's just go with rope vibe. Alright, rope vibe it is. And then I'm gonna change the color later, cause I really don't want to. Alright, color, place it into here, and of course the necklace has to be placed into here. So now we have this kind of necklace to go with, like that color, and then we got this color, which is the rope. So now we have this kind of vibe. Now let's make a kind of outline. First need a template color. Something like these. Now currently it's doing like this kind of loop. So I need to do something different with this. Let's use this one. Actually, it kind of feels weird. Like if you compare the two, this one is just way loop. This one is more like it's in between the thing. Let's do like something like this, I guess. I might change this to like a bigger rope, like somewhere far. Something like this, actually. Then of course I'm gonna put the purple one down to indicate where it is. Then let's do something like this, kind of like it has a loop kind of feeling. Then like hey, ooh, this let's make it loose a bit in here, like very loose. There you go. Next is making the design. So we got Desert Medallion, but this one is literally looks like it's based on the boss itself. But the one I have, press 2A. The one I have, it looks like this. It's big. It's big mouth. It's very big. So, and also it has the eye, which I might take that. Actually, not really take the eye, but more like try to miniscale it down to the Pacific size. So let's try like where is my sprite? Let's strike like a. So, let me draw out the thing before we start moving along. It's very big though, not gonna lie. Oh well. It is what it is. Alright, let's do like something like this. Something like that, and then let's try to expand that further. Something, oh, something like this. Okay, now it looks like an upside down heart. What the heck am I making? Something like this. Now we need to kind of like make it into a medallion of some sort. Okay, this is just upside down heart again. Bruh. Oh, why am I making it like an upside down? Holy crap, it is upside down heart. Something like that. Something like that, yeah. Then let's add this, the rope color. Actually, let's finalize it real quick. Like, bitty red on this side. Actually, not really red. Let's see here. We can use this one, the antline, but I don't know how it would look like, because this is a very small one. Something like this, and then like there's spikes going out. No, man, I'm just trying to figure out its perfect sprite for this. Let's try that size. Then let's make a new layer for our thing. Because we make the rope design. Good thing I already made it. No, or otherwise this would be long. And then boom. Bap. Pow. Alright. Then we got this one down. Then we need to make a lighter color in here. Of course, trying to mimic the kind of feeling of rope. I mean, you kind of see why I went for a rope that's color first before the other colors, right? Then we try to add some color into it, like this, like a pattern, like a literal pattern of color. Then we make some kind of this pattern. Now I need this one. Alright. Now we have that kind of pattern. Now we need the spike. So let's see, like, let's try copying this entirety of it. So at least we have some kind of color. And then let's try, like, what should we try on this thing? Something like, whoa, something like this. Oh wow, I'm 1 pixel off from here. Hey, is it actually 1 pixel? Oh, no, it's just literally 1 pixel off from there. Something like that. Then we fill this guy in with these. Oh, so that we have some kind of an outline. Then we can add like this now, and then we can add the. Actually, I don't know where we're gonna add the color of this. Let's add like some kind of this. And then the lighter, of course, to make that spike. And I think then let's make like a tiny spike in there. And then put this guy Oh, I literally used the entire thing. Okay. No, whoops. Then let's use this. Like this. Then a darker version. Because the spike. Alright. Now we need a color for our boy, which we don't have. So we're gonna use a sand real quick, a sand block as our reference color. So let's take you out, and then finally we put this guy into our dictionary and put this guy in. Then we put this, and boom. Now we have the sand recollection. So now we can use the lightest in here to use the color for this, while at the same time making some kind of shading pattern. And then darker. And then a slightly darker one. Okay, now the light is kind of weird. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's just use the boss summon as our literal color design. Alright, let's put you in here. Then we copy everything in here and just paste it in here, because we can't have like a duplicate color. So now we have this color now. Then we need a darker color. Oops, that's not what I meant. Then we should have something like this now. Then we can put like this kind of color, and then we'll put like a darker variant. Something like that. And then let's go very dark now. Something like that. Something like that. And then let's make this dark, and then let's make this a little bit less light. There you go. So we kind of technically made a very small medallion, but at the same time it's still worse looking. Alright, now we need to do this side now. So to make this, technically we don't really need the color in here. Then we need to make a dark outline for this to differentiate which one is the thing. Well, we need to make a dark outline here, actually over here, then lighter, then lighter. I mean, it kind of looks goofy, not gonna lie. So let's just make this the entirety of the color. Then make that as a color. Actually, let's make this, and then finally the very white color. There we go. Now we made the medallion. Of course, in the most outrageous kind of color. I mean, not gonna, it kind of looks like some kind of Eye of Cthulhu. So let's put this outline vibe into it. Then we need to make the eye, which is gonna be like this, and then the bright light, and then mid tone and dark tone. Okay, like something like this, mid tone and then the darker tone. Alright, I mean, does it look goofy? Yeah, by all means. Okay, something like date now. Then something like that. Then let's make the darker variant. Boom. I mean, it looks kind of goofy, not gonna lie. I might respec this later on though, but for the time being, I guess it looks fine. But in reality, it isn't. It still kind of looks goofy. Like, actually, like, very seriously. Like, actually, very seriously, it looks kind of goofy right now. Alright. Let's export these as date, and I'm gonna save these as this because it's at the items, which is not recommended. Items, materials. Is it materials? No, it's accessory, I'm presume. Yep, it is for accessory. And where the heck did my sprite go? Okay, I'm now in a very kind of weird issue. Okay, it just spawns there. Alright. Consumable, the boss summon, Goofy on. Looks kind of weird, of course. I might change that later on. Alright, now let's put these and put the skeleton down to the appropriate size. Here we go. Now we have data. And of course, we need to change the thing. Delete these and put these. And of course, we need the a sprite. Alright, we're done with these deep. Oh my god, my mouth, my throat. Anyway, now we go bake all the way back to consumable. The boss summon is Santrapo. It's no longer 20 by 20. It's gonna be, what size is it already? Even I forgot. It's 30 by 34. 30 by 34. Sick. Now I need to change this to where the heck is it? Well, I gotta go back to suspicious. Ah, there it is. Like mid down and desert. And let's change the desert summon ingredients. Back then I was using the I was not really onto creating it sufficiently. So let's try replacing all of these to the right place, and there we go. Solve night, solve light. And of course we need to, let's add this like 5 and add the sand block by 20. Now no. Alright. That should be, well, I gotta change this name though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's see here. I mean, he calls the Calamity calls it Desert Medallion. but technically I did kind of make it similar to medallion, but uh, let's see here. I'll just call it does it matter? Yeah, I'll just name it the same way. For the time being, I don't know what I'll make up into. Alright. I keep drinking the same thing all over again. I mean, look at that. That's I guess that's a cool looking. There's a medallions. So now, to make it, you need a bunch of more materials. Conveniently. Now, of course, I might change that in the long run, but that's one restart done. Oh yeah. Next thing is the right, the goddamn ring, or the it is a ring actually, Valentine ring, and it's a slight rework because it looks kind of goofy right now. So let's go back to accessory and back to our. Where the heck did I put it? Even I can't figure out why I'm looking in here. Am I tripping, or is it actually an accessory? Alright. Armor, that's vanity. Accessory, it is vanity. No, it's not vanity. It is an accessory. I just can't seem to. Ah, never mind, it just loaded. Alright. Not close all. That would be stupid. Let's make slight readjustment on this. Kind of like that vibe. Yeah, like that vibe. Let's make it into. If you're wondering what this sprite is based off, is literally from a diamond ring, and that's about it. All right, that should be that. I don't know why there's gold tint somewhere, but let's delete it. Let's delete this. Ooh. Okay, apparently that is actually gold. Alright, that resprite is done. Philo flower. This one also needs. I don't know how I would resprite this actually. This one is fine. It was supposed to be a replacement of Philo flower, but I never got to do it. Frozen shield. I mean, not gonna. This one's gonna be worked on later, cause they don't mean to do that. Cause right now the shield looks incredibly worse. So that one has to be planned on later on. And then, oh yeah, there's a big old EpiPen which I never use, but I only use the smaller version. I don't know why, but yeah, I still have that. And now I need to remove all the unused items because technically they're not really useful anymore. Alright, that's version 0.1.80. Let's see here, what did we do today? Oh yeah, and new stuff real quick. New, we got rainbow, rarity. We got actually not really new of anything. It's more like cosmic purple. Alright, the tweaks are. We got. What are the tweaks? Yeah, Dune Trapper. Then we got the. I don't know. Yeah, Valentine ring. Then the Dune Trapper summon, which I'll put it here, and the redfish. I might keep that rainbow, but I'll just make a dedicated Oh my god. I'll make a dedicated version or dedicated rarity for redfish. Because why not? I mean, redfish is redfish. Alright, that should be it. Now to update this, we gotta go back to Tmod. Because we cannot even publish it outside of Tmod. And I'm lagging a bit. God damn. Alright, back to Tmod. Then finally, let's load it up for real quick. There we go. Oh right, couple more things. We need to add the new VM config. I gotta make the new config tab now. We got the new one. So now we can modify it no matter the situation. And finally, we hit publish and update. Alright. For some reason, when you're doing a build from straight from a was it an editor, it runs what's called a development build. It doesn't build fully, but it does build a development, which you can't publish it, but you have to build reload inside of it, inside of Tmod, to get the release version. Then finally update this. Holy, that's a cool looking work today. After like taking a break from, what is it? Taking a break from the thing. There we go. Of course, the mod is, well, not really a public release, but you can technically visit it. Anyway, that's that. Commit the 23 files all over. Then push to origin. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. It's a very interesting one. It's mostly coding. It's me and the tutorial itself. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Get it? The mod is called the other side. Alright, I'll just stop. Anyways, see you guys. And thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.